Well, picture this. You're a shopkeeper and you're being held up time and time again. What do? Some Queensland retailers are this morning demanding the right to be armed so they can fight back. Scott Driscoll is from the Retailers Association. Scott, good morning to you. What rights do shopkeepers currently have to defend themselves?
Morning, Andrew. Much the same as anyone, and what we're saying is these people are often targeted far more than other areas of the community. So we want to make sure that the government right around the country, state governments right around Australia, actually take some pretty decisive action to send a very strong message to would-be perpetrators of this type of thing that, you know, the risks you take by going in and doing this sort of thing are high, and that the rights of the shopkeepers should be paramount if you get yourself hurt.
And Scott, what does the Retailers Association suggest that retailers arm themselves with?
Look, we're not getting into that debate about what they should or shouldn't arm themselves with. What we're saying is there should be very strong laws by state governments to make sure that these would-be perpetrators actually understand if they commit these sort of crimes, if they target retailers, their staff, their customers, they won't be seeing daylight for a very long time. But look, if a retailer or a shopkeeper actually picks something up and uses it in self-defence, I don't think, and the association doesn't believe, that they should be dragged through a court process for self-defence. I think it should be absolutely clear to these people, you run the risk if you go in there and try to pull this off.
But some retailers are demanding more than the right to pick up the nearest object and defend themselves. They're asking to arm themselves with things like taser guns and capsicum spray. What's your view on that?
Look, I would hope that governments will actually act before it gets to that. This is in the lap of governments. Nobody wants to see a situation where we actually go down the track of having to get those sorts of approvals. You know, that would be a travesty if Australians were forced to do that, and I would hope governments actually wake up to this and get some legislative solutions rather than, you know, violent solutions. And at the moment, retailers and shopkeepers are the target of that violence, and they're the victims. They shouldn't be the perpetrators.
Just very quickly, Scott, before we go, so what sort of legislation are you looking for? How would you like to see it change?
State governments clearly need to actually step up to the plate and simply amend legislation to suggest that if a perpetrator of these sorts of crimes gets themselves hurt and the retailer is in self-defence defending his staff or his customers, that's where it ends. You leave your civil liberties at the door if you're going to go in and attack these people.
Indeed. Thank you, Scott Driscoll, for your time this morning.
Thanks, Andrew.
And we want to know what you think, so we're opening up the phone lines. Our question, should retailers be armed? To vote yes, call 1902 55 770. To vote no, call 1902 55 771. Those numbers again, 1902 55 770 or no, 1902 55 771. We'll update the results during the show. The question is, should retailers be armed?